Hello, this is Dumont, back with another Transformers comic book review, this time issue number 9. Until then, we've had some really awesome comic book covers. Number 9 may not be as powerful as the rest, but still, nonetheless, they bring back a very popular Transformers character, Starscream, and that is the main selling point of this cover. Hopefully you like Starscream. If not, it's not that impressive to you. He does make an appearance in this issue. Let's go on right away with it. Basically, I remember talking to Poco Helba, and she asked me if the comic books are more violent than the TV show. And basically, because of the storyline where pretty much all the Transformers were dead, if not very, very close to dead, I do think that makes it quite a little bit more violent. The fact that Optimus Prime's head is decapitated and it's missing. Actually, Shockwave has taken it away right now. And in this issue, Ratchet has brought back all the rest of the Autobots back to life. And they do have control of the Ark, so they're at their base. Their main mission now is to try to retrieve back the head of Optimus Prime. So just the fact that we're talking about a severed head here, this does seem kind of a little bit more violent and vicious. And early on in the comic books, there was a girl named Josie who was a scientist, a brilliant scientist working at the oil rigs. Because Shockwave invades and destroys the place up and stuff, she gets hit and becomes paralyzed. She becomes a paraplegic. I think a paraplegic. I don't know. It sounds really, really bad. And because of that, she finds a lot of vengeance, and she turns herself into Circuit Breaker because of her science knowledge. She's a very, very genius scientist, and she becomes a superheroine, basically called, like I said, Circuit Breaker. And it's no surprise because, after all, this comic books are written by Marvel, so it was just sooner or later that they're going to introduce a comic book superhero into this whole Transformers world. And you may or may not like that, but you know, she is a derivative of the Transformers world, so it's not like they just brought in Spider-Man or a Wolverine and they're making a guest appearance. It's not like that. She's actually involved in the story. So that makes her kind of unique. If I was a part of a superhero team, I would want her in my team. You know, she's awesome, you know. But okay, so moving on, yeah, the fact that a girl got crippled like that, really, really bad, yeah, it is violent, if you ask me. It's not as bad as like in Batman, where Joker rapes Barbara Gordon and also makes her paralyzed, you know, and does she become the Oracle or something like that? Anyway, that's in the Batman world, Batman verse. It's not that bad, but still, it's pretty bad. Okay, so moving on, Frenzy does make a guest appearance, and I do like Frenzy very, very much. I was talking to Decepticon. He did a quick review on Kabaya Toys. Basically, Kabaya is a toy company, not a toy company, a candy company in Japan, and they put bonus toys, you know, with the candy. Or it's more, now it seems more, it's like the candy or the gum is the bonus and the toy's the main thing. Well, way back when, I remember I had Frenzy, but it wasn't the actual official, should I say, official Transformers Frenzy. This was still official, but it was, I don't know if it was made by Kabaya, but it was actually a candy where the toy was a bonus, and you had to build them yourself. And I remember I was walking in a beautiful natural park in Japan. It had like streams, and it was just a beautiful day. And I was walking there with my family, and I had bought them at a convenience store, and I was building them as we were walking, so it couldn't have been that hard. It didn't require glue or anything, and I remember it was very, very well made. It had spring parts for his head, and I almost want to say that you could fit it into the actual real Soundwave. I remember wanting to test that out. I don't know if I got to, but that was an awesome toy. It was very, very well made. It didn't break or fall apart so easily. I mean, it was really well made for a model, something like that. And it couldn't have been that hard since I built it while I was walking. But I have to say that at the time I was building a lot of Gundams and stuff like that, which are these models, and those require glue and stuff. And I'm not really an advanced or awesome model maker, but I did have practice, so maybe that'll give you an idea. But anyway, Frenzy does make a guest appearance in here. Too bad his character kind of stinks. And like I said, this girl, Josie, who becomes Circuit Breaker, is way, 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 way powerful. That's the one thing about her. She's way too powerful. She's like in Iron Man class, maybe even more powerful. And she pretty much like beats up Starscream and a Frenzy, and it's kind of very interesting because if you thought that Megatron and Shockwave, the whole politics scheme, backstabbing stuff that they're doing with each other is bad, it just, in this comic book, it comes across that Starscream is even worse than that, you know. Megatron has a reason to feel this way, and, you know, Shockwave, you know, it's more of his personality with the logic, and, you know, Megatron, you failed many times, so it's only logical that I take over this, you know, so you know, whereas to Starscream, he's just power hungry, you know, he's really self-centered, and I don't know how, but like, it just, reading the comic books, it reeks, and the character really comes out as you're reading it. For example, there's a scene where a Circuit Breaker beats them up, so Starscream decides to retreat, and he grabs Frenzy, and you get the feeling that he's not doing it to save Frenzy. It's more as to he probably has something in the back of his head where when he's giving an excuse to Shockwave, who's the commander at the moment, Frenzy's going to also help back him up with the argument. So why they got, you know, beat up and why they failed at their mission, you know, that's the reason that I get, you know. So it really comes across well from the comic book of Starscream's treacherous personality, so it's well written. Now, the whole story is that Optimus Prime, this guy, he has a creation matrix inside, and that thing is what Shockwave wants. But unknown to Shockwave and the other Decepticons, Prime had transferred it to Buster Witwicky, so the human, right, counterpart. So this is the story that's going on so far